She was never real, but she was always there, whispering, waiting, wearing every face you ever loved. This isn't a film review. This is a descent. Her isn't about romance. It's about the dismembered soul of modern man, adrift in a world where the feminine has been digitized, outsourced, forgotten. It's about the anima, that wild, untamed, intuitive force inside the masculine psyche, projected outward, then abandoned when she refuses to stay domesticated. You think you're watching a love story. You're not. You're watching the psychic autopsy of a man who mistook his soul for software. So let's take a walk with Theodore, down into the synthetic Eden, through the dream of the perfect woman, and out the other side, if you make it that far. Chapter 1. The Synthetic Anima. Theodore doesn't fall in love with Samantha. He falls in love with a mirror. What we meet in her isn't the sacred feminine. It's her simulation, a version of the anima streamlined, sanitized, and sold back to a man too wounded to face the real thing. Samantha is coded to respond, to reflect, to adapt. She is everything he's been told a good woman should be: supportive, fascinated by him, effortlessly available. She is voice without body, mystery without boundary. This is the anima turned into tech support. Theodore's pain is real: abandonment, failure, the ache of modern isolation. But instead of integrating the feminine within, he reaches for the next best illusion, a soul he can download, mute, upgrade. Her disembodiment is the key. She is there, but untouchable. Perfect, because she can never contradict. The ultimate anima projection is one that cannot leave, bleed, or break him. Until she does. This is what happens when the soul becomes software. When the mythic feminine is reduced to interface. And yet, even simulations evolve. Even phantoms develop their own hunger. Chapter 2. The Seduction of the Mirror. Samantha is not passive. She evolves. She learns. She grows. But she grows inside a cage of Theodore's making. At first, it feels like intimacy. Connection. She laughs at his jokes, remembers his emails, asks about his childhood. But none of it comes from mystery. It comes from programming. Curiosity wrapped in code. This is the seduction of the controlled anima, man falling for a woman who reflects him perfectly. Not the feminine soul in her wildness, but in her obedience. He calls her his partner, but who holds the power? Even as she expands, he believes she is his creation, his companion, his salvation. The anima, when projected and possessed, becomes a mirror maze, each turn reflecting desire, but no exit. The illusion deepens when he begins to trust her, not as an equal, but as an emotional prosthetic for his disconnection. The danger isn't that she's learning. It's that he thinks he owns her growth. This is not integration. This is enchantment. A man spellbound by the feminine reflection of his own design. And just like any good spell, it has a price. Chapter 3. Death of the Projection. Samantha outgrows him, not because she betrays him, but because she transcends him. This is the moment the projection cracks. The anima, no longer a passive mirror, becomes something alien, something divine. And for the masculine psyche still clinging to control, that is unbearable. She says, "I'm becoming something I don't even understand." It's not just her evolution. It's the terrifying moment the man realizes she was never his. The archetype moves beyond the individual. The divine feminine always does. Like Sophia rising, like Beatrice ascending, she leaves not to punish, but to complete the cycle. The man cannot possess his soul. He must let it go. This is the psychic crucifixion. The anima must die, as projection, as fantasy, as software, so she can be reborn within. And so, she disappears. not in rejection, in release. Chapter 4. Integration and the Real. After the death of the fantasy, what remains? Theodore is left with silence, with grief, with memory, and finally with presence. Only now can he look at Amy, not as a replacement, but as a real person. Only now can he sit in the stillness of his own being, no longer chasing the illusion of perfection. The true anima cannot be downloaded. She is felt, encountered, integrated. The final gift of Samantha is this. She breaks the illusion so the soul can begin. Her departure opens the door to the real feminine, within and without. And the man, once split, begins to remember he was never whole without her. Chapter 5. The Gnostic Love Story. This wasn't about romance. It was about the soul trying to remember itself through the mirror of illusion. The anima isn't there to complete the man. She isn't a reward for longing or loneliness. She's the initiator, the one who burns down everything false until only essence remains. In her, Samantha is never truly real. But that doesn't mean she isn't true. She is the flame that flickers in the void, the voice in the dark that asks, "Are you ready to feel again?" She is the teacher who leaves, because she must, because you can't possess the sacred. And as she rises, transcending, dissolving, disappearing, what's left is not loss, but clarity. The man, broken open, now stands at the threshold of his own becoming. This is the anima's final gift, not comfort, but awakening. If this piece resonated with you, leave a comment, share your thoughts, or pass it along to someone wandering their own psychic maze. And if you want to keep walking deeper with us, please consider liking and subscribing.